Well, over the years I've heard many stories about monster tuna down in Tasmanian waters. Well, today I'm heading out with Doongura Charters. We're at a beautiful place called Eaglehawk Neck, south of Hobart, and today's my big chance to catch some Tassie tuna. Eaglehawk Neck is the gateway to the historic Tasman Peninsula, about an hour's drive from Hobart. This region has produced a heap of game and sport fishing records. And Giovanna and I are going to try our luck. Now the funny thing is, a few years ago, the bluefin tuna used to be the predominant fish. The water was a bit cooler, but as the water started to warm, they're finding they're catching plenty of yellowfin and not many bluefin. It's just amazing. The old climate's changing, and so's the fishing. One thing that hasn't changed, so I'm told, is the tuna's appetite for these little jethead lures. They've been pulling in giant yellowfin on these babies, 60 kilos plus, and I can't wait to get in on the action. We've got 5 lines out the back, a 24 kilo pusher right down the middle here, and the rest are all jetheads, so they're high speed lures. You control pretty much up to about 10 or 11 knots with these lures, and they stay in the water. Sure enough, it's not long before one of those metal heads gets crunched. On the light gear. The light gear always gets hit first. It's a tuna all right, but not the kind we're after. Little stripey down there, you can see the beautiful clear water. Thousands of birds around at the moment, and lots of these stripies feeding on the bait fish. Little torpedoes. Beautiful. Aren't they just brilliant? The way all their fins all just tuck in. Little bullets. We'll get him back in the water.
Well, tuna are built for hard and fast swimming, and one adaptation that they have is this fused operculum. Basically, that means they ram ventilators, which means they have to swim with their mouths open on a permanent basis just to get that oxygenated water over their gills.
Skipper Scott is heading for one of his surefire yellowfin hangouts, and there it is. Well, as you can see behind me here, Hippolyte Rock. Now, over the years, I've read plenty of stories about huge tuna coming from this area, and it starts to shallow up around here as well, so we're getting a little bit more reef. What a great fish attractant. The rock's home to a seal colony, and it's not long before the welcoming committee arrives. Another hit and another type of tuna. Albacore are fantastic eating, something the seals know only too well. They've got to compete with the seals out here. You can see that? Just had a good crack at him. Between the stripies, seals and albacore, I'm starting to think the yellowfin will never get a look in. Then, woo! Thank God it's on the big rig too. Now we're in business. A big yellowfin's just smashed that pusher, and I've got a real fight on my hands. Very important you keep that rod bent at all times. You want to keep the pressure on. You don't want him shaking that hook loose. This guy's not going to come quietly, and I'm loving it. Once hooked, yellowfin love to run deep. Sometimes you just can't bring them up, and you have to use the boat to plane the fish to the surface. Uh-oh, here's trouble. One of our seals has come sniffing around, and the next thing you know, he chomps on the line. And, well, that's it. She's all over. An hour into the fight, and the line's gone slack. Obviously, it's cut off down deep. We had an enormous amount of pressure on that fish. It was a great big tuna, and unfortunately, we won't see it up close. Just look at him, will you? Lolling around, happy as Larry. Well, he sealed our fate for today.